everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. And today we'll be reading some holiday romances.
It's Brittany, bitch.
If you can hear leaves rustling, that is the gardeners outside raking in some leaves. So really sorry about that. But I have 4 books that I'm going to talk to you about, and I'm going to read all of them. I've really gotten into romance in 2022, and honestly, it's just kind of become one of my new favorite genres. I think it's something I've always really enjoyed, but I just kind of found myself, with a new interest in romance the last 2 years. And so I'm just kind of leaning into it, and I requested a whole bunch of books from a library that are holiday romances, and some of them are from last year that I really wanted but I couldn't get in time, and some of them are just new ones to me, I might add. So I don't think any of these are particularly new this year, but I do believe they are from last year. One of the books I'll be reading is The 12 Dogs of Christmas by Lizzie Shane, and this is the first book in the Pine Hollow series. And I actually recently found this series just because I actually ended up reading the 4th book in this series for a different reading vlog, which I'll link above, and I really enjoyed her writing, so I wanted to also, number one, start the series and begin from the beginning, but also it's a Christmas romance. And I believe that our main character is, I think it's Allie. So Allie's the one who owns like the pet shelter in town. So I think that's kind of where this whole like thing gets its start. So I'm just really excited for this one, but also I just love her writing. But I definitely might have to try to get an ebook of this. I really don't like these like little tiny, they're just really hard for me to read. I am nearsighted, so I don't mind really small font. I just don't like the way like the books are structured because I just feel like I'm always bending pages and it drives me insane. So I might end up getting an ebook from the library for this one. I'll also be reading The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss, and this takes place in England, and we're following Kate, who I think signs up for like some kind of service, like a dating service that will hook you up with somebody before Christmas. So sounds like an enticing read, but also I'm just a sucker for a lot of these covers. Like romance covers, they're really just going in, and that's why you want to pick them up. Like I'm obsessed with like this like graphic style on so many of these, and I just love a floppy paperback. I'm just so excited about how many floppy paperbacks I've gotten the last couple of months from my library. For some reason, romances tend to like always come in paperbacks, and maybe that's just why I'm enjoying them more too, because I just love a good paperback. But I'm excited to have a romance in England, so we're gonna see how that is. I'll also be reading The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox, and I'm not sure if it's the one that got made into a movie or a TV show last year on Netflix. I could be thinking of something completely different, but this has twin sisters who swap places. So I think one of them's a baker and one of them isn't, and they have to like switch places for a competition or something like that. I'm excited for this. I know this was really, really popular last year and I tried to get it, but it didn't come in time. So I ended up just canceling it because I don't always like to read Christmas stuff like throughout the year. It just kind of depends on my mood. Like sometimes it sounds good, but most of the time, like you kind of get that hankering like September, October, November. So I'm really excited to get into this one because I've been anticipating this last year really. And the first book I'll be reading is The Holiday Switch by Tiff Marcello. And this is actually a YA novel. And I'm not sure if that is working in its favor because I'm actually 45% of the way into this book. I actually have this on audio, even though it's such a shame because I love these floppy paperbacks. And this one is so nice inside. And it's really nice and tiny. It's just, it's delicious. But anyway, this book, I feel like I can't even explain it and I've already read it today, but we're following Lila, who is a teen who works at like a holiday shop in the bookstore section, kind of my knowledge. And this whole town is mad about Christmas and the holiday season. And she ends up having to work with her boss's nephew named Teddy. And they're kind of like a rivals to lovers sort of thing. They don't really like each other. Him coming on stole the hours that she wanted to work to save up money because it's quite obvious that she grew up quite poor and her dad lost his job at some point in time and her mom had to like take over, and she has definitely a lot of like money issues and she's constantly thinking about money. And there was a part where she thought her phone screen was broken and she was like freaking out because she takes good care of her things on purpose because they don't make a whole lot of money. And I really like that about them. I'm not sure if I'm feeling the romance. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the holiday setting of this so far, but I don't know, especially in YA, I just like they keep saying heck or whatever. It's really throwing me out of the story. Like I just like things a little more realistic and teenagers swear and stuff. So it's kind of frustrating that it's a little too PG for my taste. I think that's the problem. And I know it's probably going to get steamy and that's totally fine, but I also just don't think I'm really feeling the romance between both of them at the moment. He doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of personality other than he likes rock climbing, which we just found out. And I don't know. I think that's the problem with YA is it feels YA sometimes. And this is one of those books that just feels, it's reading really young. And I think it's definitely because there's like no swearing in it or anything so far. I mean, they literally said heck instead of hell. And I'm like, that little distinction would have like made me feel a little bit better about this this decision, but whatever. This book is doing a really good job of showing the diversity, in my opinion. There's a lot of different nationalities in here, a lot of different ethnicities. I think that's a really cool thing in a book in general, and I'm really enjoying that. And I also really enjoy that our main character, Lila, she is like an anonymous book reviewer. Her parents don't know because basically, a long time ago, something bad happened, and then her like families has like no privacy. So like everyone knew where they lived and they didn't like them. So they like don't even allow their kids to have like social media accounts. So she's an anonymous book reviewer, and she's kind of quite popular. And what happens during this switch, that's like 2 seconds of the book, is that they take each other's phones by accident, our main characters, and they see some messages about each other, and he obviously finds out that she's an anonymous book reviewer. But she needs to hide it from her family just because like she doesn't want to break the trust with her family that she has had an account online, even though it's not like a social media account specifically. Like she's still online, even though she shouldn't be. She shouldn't be like doing this behind their back. So I think that's a big point of contention. She's obviously a big family girl. I'm not gonna lie, they're like the only two characters that are kind of like really sticking out in my mind. I can't tell you anybody else's name in this right now, other than maybe the store lady, which I don't remember her name, but Mrs. Delaney? I honestly have no idea. But I'm enjoying this so far. It's good. It's not really like drawing me in, but I am only halfway through, so maybe there's like some other things that'll pull me in. But I do, of course, love holiday books or books about Christmas or whatever, because I just really like the feel of those books, carolers and decorations, and it really puts you in the mood. But I just not really sure how I feel about this like romance in general. I feel like he's not even like that rude of a dude to like have her not like him, other than the fact that he did steal her hours and he didn't know about it. So it's not like his fault, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of basis there. Anyway, I'll let you guys know when I finish this, and then I'll move on to some other ones.
Cold enough to make you shiver, but not cold enough to snow. Cold enough to know it's winter, perfect time to say our first hello.
So I ended up finishing the holiday switch earlier this morning on audio, and I have to say, I think I'm gonna give it 2 stars. It pains me to say that because I was really hoping to at least have a 4-star out of this, but this just did not hit for me. I wasn't invested the entire time. And then most of the plot wasn't resolved to like the last like 5% of this. So it just didn't really feel very like satisfying, and it felt really quick, and it felt like we couldn't actually like enjoy like the satisfaction of things being wrapped up. Also, if you took the holidays out of this, like this book was really boring. Like the reason I even gave it 2 stars is like the holiday aspect of this and the fact that she works at an inn that's like popular by like a book made movie. It definitely has the Christmas holiday vibes, but it just doesn't hit. The only 2 characters I remember out of this are Lila and Teddy, which are the 2 main characters, and I just never really felt their romance, and the whole like premise of the switch, it's like 2 seconds of this book, so it doesn't really like make sense to like call this the holiday switch whenever like their secrets aren't revealed to like the very end. And I don't really feel like they're very good secrets. Like I just feel like I wasn't invested in this. It was so like there was like no stakes in this. Like that's the best way to describe this. I feel like there was no stakes the entire time. And I also just didn't really like love any of the characters. Like nobody really stood out to me. I just was never fully invested into this. And it's just a shame because this book is like barely 300 pages and this dragged, dude. Like this felt like a way longer book. So did I love it? Absolutely not. And I'm starting off this vlog on a bad note, but it is what it is. And I do have to say my other big gripe with this book, which kind of makes no sense, but I'm just being salty. So our main character, Lila, she's a book reviewer. Like she has her own blog, and the lowest rating she gave a book was 4 stars. And I just have to say, like, I just feel like that was put in there on purpose. Like people would like rate her book higher. As a book reviewer, it is like pretty much impossible that every book you're ever gonna read is always gonna be a 4 or 5 star. And I just really wish like this was more realistic. I could have even accepted like a 3 star or a 2.5 star, because this book is getting 2.5 stars. Okay, this is an okay book. Like it's not great, it's not very memorable, and some books just aren't like that. And it was really, really frustrating that as a book reviewer, she was not being like realistic. This book was like too hunky-dory. Like I wanted more strife. I wanted some more pressure. I wanted some more like realism. I just didn't really feel anything for this book. So long story short, getting 2 stars. Wow, I've been watching way too much Jersey, but The Real Housewives of New Jersey, by the way, I'm just rewatching it again for like the millionth time. So I'll pick up on the other books soon, but I have absolutely no idea which book that's going to be, because it's the only book I had on audio, which was definitely like the defining factor of reading it first, because I read obviously a lot faster with books on audio because I work all day. And when you're at work for 10 hours, like I can't read a book physically. I definitely need the audio version. So I don't know, the rest of the books I cannot find audiobooks for at all. which is definitely a shame. But I feel like Christmas books for some reason, or holiday books, they don't seem to have a lot of audiobooks for those kind of books. And I don't really know why, if that's like a thing. Maybe they think they're not like popular or something. I don't know. But it really pisses me the fuck off. So I have no idea what I'm gonna pick up next. You're gonna find out.
Scarves and sweaters bundled up in cotton, knowing names that wouldn't be forgotten, laughing over our own sense of humor underneath the Christmas lights that glow. I'm glad I got to know you better.
I hope you appreciate my festive attire today, but I wanted to let you know that I had to finish the holiday swap a lot earlier than I anticipated because I tried to renew all of the books for this reading vlog, and I realized that this was the only one that I had to return and I had like not finished. So I had to finish this in like 1.5 days, and I did do it, but of course I didn't get to like vlog any of that experience, but I did finish it, and I think I'm gonna give this like 3 stars. Honestly, I just feel like a lot of these holiday romances are just like 2 or 3 stars for me. They're like not really, not that they're not my thing, but I feel like they're way too fucking hunky-dory all the time, and they're way too tame for me. This book, again, had darn and heck in it, and I am just so freaking tired of books like not swearing, especially holiday books. Like, I understand it's supposed to be like a feel-good book, but you can still have like hell in there, or damn at least. Like, those aren't even that bad as swear words. I'm not asking you to say fuck. Like, not everybody has to have my kind of vocabulary, but no one says oh fudge all the time, or oh snap. Like, I'm just so so tired of that shit. And I've just been reading it over and over in these fucking holiday books, and it's really grinding my gears. Honestly, I'm just so fucking over that, because all you had to do was change all those words for like slightly actually better swear words, because it just made it more realistic. Like, not every fucking character in every fucking book doesn't swear. I mean, even if there's like one person who swore, I'd be like happy about it, but the fact that like every single character like did not swear drove me nuts. That is 100% a personal gripe of mine. I just absolutely hate that in books. I mean, you don't have to have the F word every 5 fucking minutes, okay? I get it. But like, I just like a little bit of realism, and this book just didn't have that. So we're following the twin sisters, and they basically switch lives. Charlie's like the host of like a baking show, and she gets a concussion while she's on set, and she loses her ability to taste and smell. So she asks her sister, Cass, if they could switch lives. They're like identical twin sisters. I still don't like the ideas of twin switching, because people, again, still have very different personalities, but still fun concept where Cass and her switch lives. And of course, they each fall in love with different people in their lives at the time. So Charlie falls in love with Jake, the firefighter, and Cass falls in love with Dr. Rodriguez, who originally helped with her sister's concussion. Really cute premise, and I really liked it. You know, and I am the last person to complain about this, I was actually tired of all the food descriptions, because I love food descriptions, but it was so overdone to the fact where I just feel like we didn't have enough character development. Like, I didn't feel the relationships as much. I think it's also because there's 2 different relationship timelines we're following, and honestly, the sisters were so similar, I couldn't really tell them apart, especially because their names both start with a C. I literally could not remember who we were following half the time. Like, I had to like go back and like really pay attention to who we were following. And I read this entirely physically because I had no audiobooks. Like, I was physically reading these words, and I had no idea who was who. Is that a little bit of a problem? I would say yes. And that's why I definitely got 3 stars. Like, it's really sweet and really fun, but it was very Hallmark movie, very cheesy, overly sweet. Everything got wrapped up really nicely, and I really did enjoy that. I just feel like this is definitely a really feel-good book, but I just really wanted some more tension, and honestly, I just couldn't tell the sisters apart, which was like my biggest frustration. Because then I couldn't truly root for either one of the romances, because I feel like they didn't really have enough of their own personalities to like warrant that. And then I also feel like the love interests, again, didn't really have to have like their own personalities. They were just there, and like that was their profession, was a firefighter and a doctor. And also Maggie Knox is a pseudonym for 2 different authors I've never actually read, so maybe I just don't really like vibe with their writing. But again, my biggest gripe, I really just hate when like things do not swear at all, or there's no like adult natured things. This also had like absolutely 0 steam. I'm getting really tired of that. I realize I really enjoy a little bit of steam in my books, even if it's like Nicholas Sparks level steam, which is what I actually grew up reading. At least, you know, like they're having sexy times, and I can still feel like the romance. I just didn't really feel it for any of these characters. And then an ending, of course, predictable, happy epilogue. I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more from this. So get 3 stars from me. So far we have a 2-star and a 3-star, and I'm not really sure about the next 2 books. They're both, again, physical books, and I don't have the audiobooks for these, so I don't know which one I'm going to pick up first. Probably whichever ones do the library first, but we'll see. I'll let you know when I pick up one of those books. Hopefully I'll give you some better updates. Okay, y'all, I am in the Popeyes drive-thru. It is after Christmas, so Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. But I'm really late on this Christmas reading vlog. It just did not work out the way I was supposed to. I'm gonna apologize in advance, and next year I'm gonna learn my lesson, hopefully, and not do like 3 or 4 fucking Christmas vlogs at the same time, because I got so burnt out on Christmassy books and holiday books that I've had to intertwine these books with some other books, and then of course it's delaying these reading vlogs. I mean, literally, like, New Year's is this week. Like, I need to hurry the fuck up. But another good news, I am actually 70% of the way into the 12 Dates of Christmas, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking it, and I'm gonna try and finish it today. I literally stayed up late and then I slept in to finish this. Like, I really was trying, and I obviously wasn't gonna get there, so I went to bed because it was after midnight, and that's very late for me. And I'm enjoying it. So basically, Jenny Bayliss, I already read one of her other books for my wintry vlog. It is A Season for Second Chances, and that book was an extra 100 pages on this one. So I'm really glad this one's a lot shorter, because absolutely fucking not. It was way too long. I liked the book. I like her writing. It was too long. And this one, the whole premise is we have Kate, who is single and one of the only single people in her little small town of, like, I think it's Blexford. And so she decides to go ahead and pay for this really expensive, like, dating thing where you get 12 different dates with 12 different people and their different experiences. So, like, they're doing escape rooms, or they're doing ice skating, or just dinner. And they're having, like, different experiences for each one, and they're in different places, which I thought was a really cool idea. And you are going to actually see each one of her dates, which I think is really, really cool. I already think I know who she's going to end up with, though, and I'm a little mad about that, just because sometimes, like, I want something different. I feel like it's a very particular trope that's in every fucking, like, romance, and I just really, if I even told you some of the other romances that have this trope, you would know exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't want to spoil it for you. But I think that's my only problem with these, is they're just a little bit predictable, and I was really hoping I would be a little more surprised with who I think she's going to choose. We still have how many days left, but I think I already know who she's going to choose. So just saying that, it's a little bit annoying, but I really like Jenny Bayliss' writing. Once I get into it, I really enjoy her writing, and it flies by, but I have to, like, get into it. I feel like the first chapters of her book, like, really just don't vibe with me, and then after that I can get into it better. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely gonna try and finish it today, because I am so tired of not finishing these fucking books. Like, I need to, like, get on this level. I need to finish this. There's really a lot of good character development, I feel like, in this, and all the dates feel very different. They all have different people. One of them was, like, hiking, and she gets stuck, and there's so many different opportunities for things here, and I like that there's a lot of variety between the dates, because that's what I was definitely worried about. I was worried we weren't going to be able to see some of the dates or whatever. But each one seemed pretty different, with a different person and different reasons they don't work out, which I really enjoyed. And I feel like Jenny Bayliss has done a really good job of that, and making sure each one feels like a very different experience. But since I already know, like, I feel like who she's going to end up with, and I don't think I'm wrong, it's a little bit annoying, but I digress. I think all these, like, Christmassy books and stuff, I mean, that's their main MO. Like, they're predictable, they're safe, they're happy, they're cozy, they're entertaining. And I think I'm liking this one a little bit more than her other book, just because it's more condensed by, like, 100 pages, and it actually feels very Christmassy. Her other one was, like, marketed as a holiday book, but it wasn't. It was more like the autumnal time. This is definitely Christmassy. There's a lot of Christmas things going on. I do want to know what the fuck she does for work. She's apparently, like, a graphic designer, works in London, but, like, I feel like this bitch barely fucking works the rest of this entire process, and she's, like, the weirdest working hours. I'm very jealous. Like, I don't know, like, if I need to be a graphic designer or what, but, like, I feel like she barely fucking works. She, like, sketches something for a couple hours, she goes into work, scans it, like, it's done. And I'm like, I'm so jealous. And then she bakes all the time. And obviously Jenny Bayliss herself is really into baking, because there's also some recipes at the back of this book, and then also in her other book, baking was a really big thing in cooking. So I wonder if she herself used to be a cook or something, or a chef, or showrunner. I don't know, because there's a lot of cooking and stuff in this, but I like it. It's not too much where, like, I feel like we don't get enough character development. She just bakes for a lot of her friends and family, and her friend Matt owns, like, a Pear Tree Cafe, and she bakes brownies stuff for them all the time. It's really cute. I'm really enjoying it. So I'll let you know if I'm right about who she ends up with, but I think I know who she ends up with. It was just, I feel like it's so fucking obvious. I definitely would like to be a little more surprised with these romances, but what can I say? So I'll give you guys an update later when I finish this bad boy, which will hopefully be very, very shortly. As I promised you, I did end up finishing the 12 Dates of Christmas, and I really enjoyed this. I think I'm gonna give this somewhere around 3 to 4 stars. I haven't fully decided yet. I feel like it's like a 3.5. Like, I really, really enjoyed this, but at the same time, I knew who she was going to end up with from the very beginning, which I was hoping I was wrong. And then, you know, her dates were entertaining, but like, I think especially when you already know what's going to happen, you don't really care about the dates as much, but maybe that's not the point. Once you already know, like, she's met that person and whatnot, that it's just going to happen, like, that's fine. But I kind of wanted more believability with some of these characters. Like, I just like knew like they were not going to work out. So I just didn't care as much. And in a way, I almost liked her other book better in some places, but that other book was a lot slower. But this book suffered from its own problem where I feel like when she's describing things, it really bored me in some parts. And I really kind of like glazed over descriptions of like the Christmas decorations. And I feel like in her other book, I didn't do that. Like I was very invested in what was going on, even though it was really slow paced. This one's definitely faster paced. I just wasn't invested, I guess, in like the surroundings. I wanted to get to the meat. I wanted to get to like the dialogue. I wanted to get one thing to like where things were happening, not like every fucking little thing. That makes sense. I feel like I was bogged down a little bit by the details. So I think I'm gonna technically rate it like 0.5% higher than her other book. I feel like in a lot of ways this is a better like it's more engaging of a story for more people. I feel like more people would enjoy this versus her other book that's a lot slower and has a lot less characters. And this one just had a much faster pace to it, even though it tactically is the same writing. It just felt faster, probably just because even though the other book had really short chapters, this one only had like 12 dates, so you know like you're gonna get there sooner. The other one had like 80 chapters, so don't know if that's why. So overall, I really enjoyed it. It definitely has Christmas vibes. I ship the couple. I'm just a little upset because I really wanted more believability in that we thought there was going to be more options with these dates. I mean, it was like fun to explore, but I feel like if you cut out the dates, like their actual love story is much shorter than that. The next book I have to read is in my bathroom. I'm not gonna go get it, but I have to read The 12 Dogs of Christmas. And honestly, I almost want to end the vlog here just because I already have so many other books I need to read and it's almost the end of the year. And I'm just a little done with holiday Christmassy romances, especially because like they're just so predictable. And I don't know, I just kind of want something different. Like I want something completely opposite of that. I don't know what the complete opposite of holiday romance is, but like I'm really looking forward to that because I'm not against reading right now. I'm actually reading quite quickly. I just need something I think that's just like out of the box and different for me right now. But this is the last book I have. I'm on page 33. There's 350 pages of this and it's in that tiny little format because I cannot find an ebook of it anywhere. So like I'm literally so tempted to just like drop off at the end of this vlog and just be like, I gave you 3 books in just this vlog alone. So I feel like I've done my job, but I actually really, this is the book I was kind of the most excited for just because I found this author earlier this year and I really like her writing and this is the first book in the series. I just really wish it was a different format. Okay, instead of me complaining, I'm gonna go eat dinner now and I'm gonna try and power through and see if I can finish this by tomorrow, but I don't want to stay up late again because that just really throws off my schedule. So I'm gonna try my best to do that. And actually we're probably gonna take down Christmas decorations tomorrow. So that's how not Christmas it is anymore. It is the very next day, y'all, and I am 50% of the way into The 12 Dogs of Christmas and I'm pretty impressed with myself, I'm not gonna lie, but I remember that I did save this for last on purpose because I really enjoyed Lizzie Shane's writing, so I knew it'd be a really fast read for me. So I am planning on finishing this today. Like I am gonna beat this. I'm gonna read all the books I'm supposed to read for this year. I'm not gonna let anything fucking stop me. But let me give you a little bit of insight on what this book is actually about. So The 12 Dogs of Christmas, we have Allie and we have Ben. So Allie worked in like the big city, New York City, as like a fashion photographer, and now she's home taking care of her grandparents, and they own the little animal shelter in town in Pine Hollow. So this is the first in the Pine Hollow series, and it's all about like dogs. So obviously everything's around their shelter. So this is the first one with the shelter, and Ben is on city council, and Ben is now the guardian of his niece Astrid because his sister and her husband died. So now he has to watch their daughter Astrid. So there's a lot going on already, and obviously we know these two are gonna fall in love, but Ben is on city council and he was like the last vote to say that the animal shelter should be shut down to save money, so they could basically use that money to fix the roof of like the community center because they didn't have any more money in the budget. So the mayor suggested using that money from the animal shelter instead. And then the whole thing starts off, they do not meet very well. Allie and Ben do not like each other at first because they had really bad interaction the first day. Like she spilled coffee on him and it was a whole ass thing. And then of course she was mad because he's deciding to shut down the animal shelter, but she doesn't know actually that he was like the last vote on it. I wonder if that's gonna come up later, but basically he's helping her get rid of all the dogs because they need all the dogs obviously out of the kennels. So they're doing this whole 12 Dogs of Christmas thing and they're featuring the dogs in like the city newsletter. So that's kind of how they're spending time together right now. And of course, there's a lot of Christmas shenanigans because this town takes Christmas very, very seriously. And so far, so good. So far, I'm really enjoying it. We haven't had any steaminess between them at all. I'm not expecting that from Lizzie Shane after the last book I read, but it was very, very tame, very closed door romance. But I'm enjoying the book so far. I really like her writing. I just feel like it flows really well, and I can definitely picture everything as it's happening. And I love all the different dogs in this because there's so many funny little dogs. And I think I know what dog that he's eventually going to let Astrid adopt. So Ben has not let Astrid keep a dog because obviously, like, it's just a lot of work, and him and now as a single dad / guardian of his niece, like, it's just a lot of work. So he didn't want to do that. But she volunteered at the animal shelter without telling him. That was a whole thing. So I wonder if he's gonna let her keep a dog. I really hope so. Like, in my heart, I hope so. But I'm really glad I'm starting off with the first in the series because I obviously started with the fourth one, which was that Pride and Puppies that I read for that contemporary romance reading vlog. So I really hope I enjoy this as much as I enjoyed the fourth one in this series. But so far, it's like setting up the tone for the rest of like the town. And now I kind of want to like go back and reread Pride and Puppies and like see if I remember anybody else that was like mentioned. But I think I need to read the second and third one in order to determine that. But so far, so good. I'm really glad I did save this for last because it's a much faster read than any of the other books that I read for this reading vlog. I just love her writing so much, even though I don't like it's on this really tiny fucking mass market paperback, but what can you do? So anyway, I'm gonna go into the library, drop off some of my other books, and then I'm gonna give you guys an update when I finish this, which is hopefully very, very soon today. I hope it's like before nighttime because I really would like to edit this whole thing out and get it to you, but I haven't edited anything. I spent so much time reading, I barely edited any of this. So I hope I get this out to you before the first of the year because I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but at the same time, like, it's already after Christmas. Like, I really need to get my shit together. Anyway, I'm not going to poo-poo myself because I've done really good. I've really been doing a great job, especially because I've been sick for such a long time and trying to read was like impossible. Like, I'm really proud of myself that I've caught up so far. So anyway, I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye. So it's New Year's Eve and I actually finished the 12 Dogs of Christmas yesterday. So I did meet my expectations. However, I'm like 3 books behind for the year, which sucks because I hate not meeting my quota, but at the same time, I have just been way too busy for that shit. But listen, oh shit. I'm gonna give this like 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. I feel like maybe all her books might be 4 stars for me. I just feel like there's something missing, so I don't want to give it 5 stars, but at the same time, like, I enjoy myself so much reading these, and I feel like they're so easy to read that I just feel like it's an easy 4 star. My only real complaint was I felt like it just wrapped up a little bit too quickly, and then other parts of it were a little too drawn out. I wasn't really a big fan of the romance, but I think this one was so tame. There just really wasn't a romance to get behind, and I wasn't always a big fan of Ben. He was still a little too assholey for me to like root for them as a couple because I feel like Allie just deserved a little bit better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. He's so emotionally unavailable throughout the entire novel that it's really off-putting. Like, I wouldn't want to date somebody like that, so I find it really frustrating. Like, why are you with this person or pining after this person? But you also can't choose who you love, so like, I do understand to a point. But overall, it was a really fun time. I read it in like 24 hours and I would definitely recommend it. I really like her writing. I just feel like I can really picture everything really well. And I like the way a lot of things worked out. And I was correct in which dog he ended up letting Astrid have. So that's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not really that big of a deal. But I was right and it was a really cute choice. And overall, I think this is a really good setup for the rest of the town and the other books. I'm just really in love with this town. I just feel like Pine Hollow is such a great little like small town. And I think that's why I'm also just like in love with this series. I think it's just so cute and the people are really vibrant and there's just so much going on, but like I can always like tell who's who. Like, I feel like in some books and there's like more than 2 people, I get so confused. But for this one, I can actually follow along with pretty much who every single person is in the town. There's a whole bunch of people involved. And I feel like that's definitely a talent. I think that Shane's writing is talented and I really like it. And it's really easy for me to follow. And I feel like that's really important for me. I need to be able to like make a story in my head. And a lot of writing doesn't allow me to do that, but hers does, and it's very effortless. So this is definitely my favorite one out of my entire reading vlog, and I'm really glad that I was right. And I definitely need to get my hands on the second and third one, but I might have to wait till I get to North Carolina for that because the libraries around here do not have the second or third book. I don't think. Well, anywho, it is New Year's Eve. I'm gonna finally fucking edit this and I'm going to get this out to you guys literally as soon as possible because I'm so fucking late. And I've learned my lesson that for next year, like, I maybe need to do like 1 or 2 holiday vlogs and start them a lot earlier. And I need to make them a lot smaller, like maybe have only like 2 books per thing or something because this was just too many. I think I just got a little burnt out. Actually, I know I got burnt out. It was fucking awful. Like, there was definitely a point where I like wanted anything but a holiday or seasonal fucking book. So I've learned my lesson. And next year, hopefully I will not repeat this garbage and be trying to fucking read like 8 books in the last week. of the fucking year. So anyway, I hope you guys have a really, really lovely holiday season. I hope that your New Year's is fantastic. And I hope that 2023 is a much better fucking year because 2022 can suck my ass.